know far more than some of the younger students graduating with their certificates. And that's not just me bragging. I've been helping your mother since I was 15. When she called on patients, I always tried to tag along. She trained me, and I'm quite proficient, if I do say so myself. Faith laughed. Although my professors say it too. They're always surprised when I come up with a diagnosis before testing, or a cure or treatment that they're unfamiliar with. They sometimes debate me on the usefulness of said treatment, but it usually proves right. And if for any reason it doesn't, I'm not too prideful to change my methods. If Mother taught it to you, I've no doubt it proves right. She has a gift, just as you said. Faith pulled another stack of gowns from her trunk and placed them on the bed. I'll need to press these. There's a laundry room just off the kitchen by the pantry. You'll find everything you need there. Or, if you want me to tend to them, I charge 3 cents a dress. Nancy grinned. After all, I can't play favorites. Thank you, but I can manage. You've been so generous and kind. I feel at home already. Faith returned to the trunk and took out a stack of white pinafore aprons. This is my self-designed uniform. I wear the dark dress and white apron, and I have a nicely tailored jacket to go over it all. I look very professional. She grinned at Nancy and placed the aprons beside the dresses. Well, that's 1 trunk down and 2 to go, plus the books. I should have plenty to keep me busy. Are you sure the room suits you? Faith glanced at the flowery wallpaper and matching drapes. Well, it's a little more frilly than I would normally choose, but I honestly believe it will be cheerful and perhaps even inspiring. When times are difficult, it might even help me to press on. Nancy gave her a sad look. And are you happy, Faith? What a strange question. Faith stopped and looked at her cousin. Of course I'm happy. I'm doing what I've always wanted. You know they haven't always allowed women to attend medical school. Letting women become doctors is the stuff of my dreams. Why would you ask? I just think it's a pity you don't feel you can marry and settle down with a family. Faith shrugged. This was a matter that had been discussed at length with her parents. God calls some to remain single. I've always figured, given my heritage, that He's planned that for me. Of course, I suppose something could happen to change the laws. Or maybe I'll find a handsome man like Uncle Adam who is part Indian, and he won't mind that I'm half Cayuse. Do you think about it a lot? Being half native? Nancy nodded. I mean that, and how your mother was held hostage when the Indians massacred the men at the Whitman Mission. When I finally heard the truth of what happened there, it was all I could think about for a long time. I still think about it sometimes. How awful it would be to be forced to be intimate against your will. Faith sat down on the end of the bed. I know. I think about it from time to time. I can't imagine my poor mother learning that she was with child. It would have been terrible for others to find out, and I can't believe she was the only one who ended up in that condition. You truly think there were others? As I understand it, every woman and girl over the age of 12 was imposed upon during that month of captivity. My mother couldn't have been the only one to conceive. The women involved just don't dare to talk about it, not even among themselves. It would have been, and still is, considered the height of disgrace to bear a child who was even part Indian. And those who did, no doubt, freed themselves of that baby as soon as possible. I think Mother did the only sensible thing by going to live with Isaac and Aletta Browning, far from Oregon City and all of their friends. It saved my mother and her family the embarrassment of having to explain. The Brownings became